to give y'all an insight as to how things were so bad, went so wrong at the time, and asking for this divorce, and my ex using my children as the pawn, because, you know, us women, when we get really done, interesting thing about it is that, you know, you can't talk to us anymore when we're done. We're just done. There's no talking to us. So then sometimes people will resort to the one thing that can hurt you, your only Achilles heel, which was my children. Now, hear me when I say I was a very present mom. I was the constant when he wasn't around. Now, I will say he worked his ass off to provide for my family, for us, and he was a great provider, and his intention was 100% to do so. And I will also say that nobody can outwork that man, and I have great respect and appreciation for him for that. But it was also an excuse to escape his issues and not deal with them, because a lot of times men can be defined by their work, what they do, and it's not a good plan though. So a lot of times through the course of divorce, children will align themselves with the conditional parent. I was not that. So my kids can do any damn thing and know that I'm not going to hold it against them, that I'm always going to be there. The conditional one, not so much. You got to get on their program, right? So one day, this was a defining moment, you know, using my kids and spinning this narrative. They were so angry with me, and all total, they didn't speak to me really for 3 years. Even though I had my minor son, I had him 2 weeks on and he had him 2 weeks off. 2 weeks on, he had him 2 weeks. And so my son was in high school and he was so angry. God, I love that boy, but he was angry. He tried to put me in an early grave. So one day he's standing next to my car with a golf club, my Porsche, with a golf club, pissed off at me because I told him to do something he didn't want to do. Now, hear me when I say, when you're going through a divorce, you have to parent a little bit differently. I was a little bit of a furniture flipping mom. I didn't put up with too much shit, okay? My kids lived a charmed life, but I wasn't a pushover in that way. I was still a disciplinarian and held them to account. And so he found a crack of a light, you know, to work within in this vulnerable situation between his father and I. So here he is. I'd asked him to do something, and after he called me a fucking cunt, yes, I didn't stutter, that boy called me a fucking cunt. Now hear me when I say most times under normal circumstance, he would have woke up wondering what happened to his teeth and his consciousness, okay? But couldn't do that, would have lost custody of him. So I'm calling my ex. Please talk to this boy. He's acting crazy. He's calling me out of my name, and he's got a golf club next to my Porsche. He says to me, I don't have that problem with him. I have nothing to say. So in that moment, that was a point in which I knew I could not depend upon him to do the right thing for our kids and co-parent. That he was just too hurt and couldn't get past his pain to show up for his kids in that way. So I called the police and we got him straight, but that was a defining moment that I was on my own. I was on my own with my kids, and as angry as they were, this was that divorce didn't bother me for 1 minute. Hear me when I say, but my kids not talking to me or basically angry with me and not wanting to deal with me for in total 3 years. I can't tell you guys the pain that caused me inside, and it was just the beginning of the shit show, just the very beginning. And I'm happy to report now though that, you know, Mario is doing quite well. And as I begin to dovetail these universal truths into this story, you know, one of the universal truths is love is the answer to all things. And our greatest challenges really are our greatest opportunities to grow. And there are blessings in them all.